Do you communicate with any of those guys, social media or anything like that?
No, not really.
No?
Now you can tell we're nice to each other in person, but you can tell there's kind of like a chip on all our shoulders for like when you see each other. It's like I need to outplay him.
Want to gun each other, huh?
Yeah.
And you dueled with Costco this.
Yeah, we
spring.
scrimmaged them for our first scrimmage of the season.
Yeah. What do you think of him?
He throws the ball well. He's a big kid, strong kid, has a good arm. So it'll be nice to see how it plays out this year with the season coming.
Do you like to run, throw? What do you do better?
I feel like I'm a better passer just because I'm like a quarterback, but I can definitely run the ball. You kind of saw that in the East game. We ran the ball a lot just because that's what East was giving us. They weren't really giving the pass as much, but they were really giving us the run, so we took advantage of that, and that's what we did.
Second year at Boardman under center, do you have everything under control as far as mentally and everything you need to do on a Friday night?
I mean, I come back to Boardman, it's a new offense, and then I go into my junior year, we had a new offensive coordinator. But Coach Reich, the new offensive coordinator, he made it really easy to kind of ease in the offense for the quarterback at least. A lot of the plays and concepts he would call, he tried to make them as easy to remember from last year, like with the name of them, stuff like that. And
is your offense closer to Boardman or closer to Columbiana from what you know?
Columbiana, I'd have to say.
He brought a whole new. Have you seen much of what they did in Columbiana?
Yeah, I tried to watch his quarterback Mitch from last year. I tried to watch his highlights and his film just to kind of.
He's kind of like you,
Yeah.
running and throwing.
Yeah, and he played great in that offense. So just by watching him, hopefully I can get to how successful he was in it and help the team win.
When you guys hear make Boardman relevant again, does that mean anything to you guys at all? Really? I mean,
I mean,
what does it mean to you?
On one thing, it's like kind of like not an insult, but it's like, dang, like we're like people they expect that much out of us. But on the other hand, it's like now it's in our hands. It's our opportunity to like make Boardman a great team that people like fear in the area or just want to come watch. Like that's the team to watch this year.
What kind of college ambitions do you have? Will you play football? Will you wrestle? Will you?
Same as Dominic. Just I want to play football at the highest level I can. That's just what I love, and I want to play college football.
Any interests at all yet? Is anything happening for you at all? I know it's early for you, especially.
I said some MAC schools talked to me, like Akron, OU, Toledo. Went to a game up there, and I went to some
Getting
camps
some
there.
invites.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's kind of it so far.
What's the most fun part of your, I don't know, early season so far? What makes you excited to be quarterback at Boardman right now?
Seeing all the components of our offense and all the threats to the defense. We have Dominic Jennings, Keyshawn Coleman, Joe Iracy.
Will you play defense at all this year?
Yeah, I'll play a little bit.
Safety?
Yeah, some safety, some corner mainly, I think. So we'll see how that goes.
So is your defense where you want it to be as well?
Yeah.
For you guys to
Our
do what you need to do?
Our D-line is really good. Like they
Give some shout-outs.
We got our DNs are Steve Amsuds, Alex Uzika, and our defensive tackles, Tino Akiri and Evan or Bubba Walton. So they really wreak havoc for O-line. So then our secondary, we have so much depth out there. We have him and Maurice starting at corners, and then 3-year returner at safety, Molesky, then Jawan Forte, Siani Jones, myself. We can all rotate in the secondary, so if someone's gassed, you come out and you have another good kid out there. It's not like you're taking a step back.
I'll ask you because he wasn't around. You guys, after the Mooney game, was downhill. What are you going to do to prevent any of that kind of stuff this year?
I think our leadership is a lot better last year. We have more than just one or two. We have multiple, and we don't have too many. Like there's a great amount of leaders to people that follow them. So I think like if we have a big win or we go out and start 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, 7, great start to the season, we'll be able to be like, hey, we gotta stay focused. This team is no joke. You gotta stay focused on them and keep the team focused throughout the end of the season into the playoffs. So.
That's your two jobs, part of.
Yeah.
So what are you anticipating a home game at Boardman yet? What are you thinking about?
I can't wait. The Jumbotron that they have excites me.
You guys played at Poland last year, yes?
Yes, sir. We played at Coleman. But Boardman Field is definitely different. It's bigger. I know it's more exposure, for scouts when they come to the games and stuff. So I just can't wait for the game.
crowd in general, right?
Yes, sir. It's a crowd.
Nice atmosphere.
Yes, sir.
Looking forward to. Have you been to Boardman for a game at all yet?
I went to the Easton Boardman game last year.
Okay.
You know, I didn't even know I was going to be at Boardman.
No clue, huh? Yeah.
That's the only game I went to last year, and it was exciting. The crowd, you know, the student section, you know, just the people really cared about football here. So I knew that I really wanted that, you know, that atmosphere. So
What's it going to take for you to help them get over the hump this year? From your perspective, we heard a little about Michael. What do you need to make sure gets done this year?
for me personally,
Or the team, or you personally?
as a team, just bond. I say bond together, not just on the field, but off the field.
You guys buddies off the
Yes, sir.
field?
Yes, sir. And for me personally, just keep getting yards, keep running my feet. Honestly, that's the biggest thing I think that's going to help us.
And what do you think of Howland? Have you seen much of him yet so far?
Yes, sir. I know they got a Division I, you know, athlete type guy, middle linebacker. So I'm looking forward to playing against him. Looking forward to running all over their defense. Honestly, I can't wait.
Michael, your thoughts for Friday night?
I think if we stay to the game plan, if we stay on our assignments on defense and know our plays on offense, and if he keeps running like he's running, we'll fare out really, really well.
You guys excited about the season? You anticipating big things to come?
Yes, sir. It's only the second week too, so it's gonna be a long season. I think we're gonna go week 11, week 12, week 13, keep it going.
Michael?
I agree with that. I think that we have all the potential in the world. Just it's a matter if we keep digging and get to it.
Now, if you say you're going to make the playoffs, is that you feel comfortable about saying that already, or?
I feel really confident with that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many weapons. It's going to be a good year.
No, good for you.
And a good line too, also.
Oh yeah.
And you're off to a good start, 1-0. We'll stay 2-0 this weekend and bring on Madison Jackson.
That's a game we need to get back. That was right after the Mooney game, as you know, and
Started the downhill.
yeah. So I think that's a game we really want some redemption in. Honestly, the whole back half of our season. So it will be nice to see how we respond to big wins or a bad loss if that happens. And I think our team has the right mindset to bounce back from something like that.
School started this week. You guys all acclimated to that already?
Yes, sir.
The first yesterday was not too good, but now we're back on schedule.
So you're practicing like normal now. Well, good luck to you this week, and good luck to you the rest of the season. Appreciate you guys coming in. Mike, you've been here before, so appreciate that as well. That's Boardman Spartans. They play the Howland Tigers this weekend on Friday night, and we'll be back with more. We have Cardinal Mooney coming up next from Yards After Contact from Kelly's Bar in Youngstown, Ohio. And welcome back to Kelly's Bar on Mahoning Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio. Next guest is head coach of the Cardinal Mooney Cardinals, P.J. Fecco. P.J., thanks for being here.
Thanks
first
for
of all.
having me.
Great win. I had the privilege to see you guys play on Friday night,
yep.
Thursday night games.
Yep.
You got the victory. That was the most important thing. What did you take away from that victory from Cleveland Heights?
Oh, it's good to see, our guys go on the road, to open up and a little bit of road trip to Cleveland. And we had scrimmaged in Cleveland earlier in the summer. Our first scrimmage was against Euclid up there, so it was kind of a test to get us ready to go on the road. And it's always great to get that opener out of the way and get a win under your belt, especially when it's on the road.
What was good about the victory from your perspective, coaching staff's perspective?
I think our guys did a pretty good job.
Besides Antonio Page, obviously.
I think our guys did a really good job mentally of their preparation and their focus and coming out and executing. And then, when you have everybody doing that, and then Antonio has a pretty good game of running up and down the field and made some great decisions and put us in some positive situations. And I think our defense played well. I think there were some big plays that occurred, but overall, did a pretty good job of holding their offensive down. And, obviously, first game miscues. We had, way too many penalties. A mental mistake here or there. And turned the ball over a couple times that we've got to be careful of moving forward.
Now, you had a quarterback battle initially, maybe this year, but the way Page played did you even anticipate him playing that well?
Tone's had
200 yards rushing?
He's had a really good summer. Tone did a really good job for us last year as well, and Tone's a student of the game. Tone's not only gifted physically, Tone's a very intelligent player, a player that wants to learn, and a player that wants to get better each and every week. He's not a content person. He's as hard on himself as anybody will be, and I think that as he progressed through the camp, he looked, stronger and stronger, and was doing some really good things for us. And more importantly than what he was doing individually, he was really being a great leader. I think he not only leading by example, but verbally in a positive way, and kind of grouping everybody together and getting everybody on the same page, as well as, Vinny Gentile was kind of that same way. He's a guy with a lot of...
His name's Gentili, I guess.
That's
now.
right, everybody. Yeah, they butchered some names the other night, but they...
His name was called often enough
yes,
to hear.
Right. And he, but those two, were the most seasoned players coming in. They had a lot of playing experience over the last 3 years, and they've done a great job of, leading this team and kind of rallying everybody together.
How big a win was that for you guys? There's a lot of
big.
computer points.
It's
I
big.
mean,
I think that
momentum.
Yeah, any win's big. I mean, you got
Hoban this week.
You got to win, and on that, and like I said, the opener is always tough because you don't know what to expect. Obviously you come out of 3 weeks of doubles and some scrimmages, but it's the first time you see your guys under the lights where the pressure's truly on, and they reacted well, and especially going on the road, you don't know how everybody's going to react, but everybody did a good job, got the win, and now we move forward.
Hoban, Columbus DeSales, who am I missing?
St. V's.
St. V's and Boardman. I mean, are you not playing at home just because of circumstances?
No, it's just the way the schedule fell out.
You had to play road games.
Yeah, you got to play a lot of road teams and play out of town teams. The way that
they play here, you play there.
Yep, the way things are set up, around here, and there's not we're not.
Now Hoban's a new team, is it not for you guys?
They are. Yeah, we haven't played Hoban I think to mid 2000s.
They needed a home game.
Yeah, it was just it's a 2-year deal, so they'll come back to our place next year. But
did you push for a home game for yourself just to break that up at all?
Yeah, it's just the way that it fell out. You know what I mean? And but it's obviously a bear dealing with on the front end, but on the back end, you're home on the home stretch there, and the end of the season. So that part of it, is nice.
What do you think of losing to Boardman last year? Was that a big deal?
Hey, I think that as you go through the season,
Week 2 was last
year.
year.
As you go through the season, it's
Did that do something for your team, or I don't know? I'm just.
We take each week at a time. And you got to learn from your wins. You got to learn from your losses. And in a game of football, you don't have much time to linger on anything. You can't linger on a win. You can't linger on a loss because come Monday, it's a whole new week. And if you're lingering back, whether it's on a win or a loss, you're going to have trouble in the next week. You know what I mean? So you always got to look forward. Once you win, you enjoy it that day, and it's back to work the next day. And the losses are the same thing. You got to kind of regroup and go back to work the next day. If you linger too much on it or think too much on it, then you set yourself up for failure coming down the road.
Now this is a team with not many D1 recruits, at least this year. Maybe in your junior class.
Right.
Is it more of a team effort now than in years past for you?
I think it
because you've been what? You've been to state finals 7 times and 4 championships with a lot of talent.
Right, a lot of talent, and I think I've seen it both ways. I think 2 of those state championships were with a lot of role players per se, as people would put it, of not a ton of D1 recruits, and then 2 of them had a bunch of them. You know what I mean? So I've seen it both ways. And
is this team like the ones that didn't have the big?
They're similar in some ways. You look over to I've been at this as a head coach for 18 years now. So you know, you can compare some back and some, but you see so many teams that you see some, you know, quality in these guys. You know, I think what these guys have going for them is I think that they have some strong leaders, some positive leaders, and I think they work together well. There's a great chemistry through all of the classes, from seniors on down to freshmen, and you know, they truly care about each other, and it's a great team effort.
I know you're one of the few teams that I've seen that's break on state championships all the time. When you get your team together,
I think
that's
it's
important.
I think it's a goal of you know, of everybody that goes out there. You know, now, in that being said, you know, I've been fortunate enough, you know, to be a part of, you know, 4 state titles, and in that game 7 different times, and you know, it's not an easy road to get there, but it's definitely something that you gotta strive for, you know, to get there. I think I'm assuming that every high school team, when they start the first day of doubles, is their quest is to get to that point. You know, not everybody can, but I think you have to have that mentality, you know, for your kids to be successful. And
Can this team do that this year?
I think any team can. I've seen it through the years. I've seen it.
But there's a talent there, in your opinion, to
I
do
think
it?
so. I think, you know, you need a lot of things to line up. You know,
Yeah.
I think, you know,
But talent's one of them. You got to have that.
You got to have
before-
talent, and I think more so than talent, you have to have great teamwork. You know, even some of those talented teams with a lot of people on it, there were a lot of teammates of those guys that didn't get press, that were, again, more of like a role player, that were important and made a lot of big plays for it, that didn't go as noticed maybe as some of those guys that were going to, you know, the big universities and were being covered so highly. But I think you need teamwork.
Like
You
Johnny
need everybody
Simon,
on the same play.
guys like that.
You need everybody on the same page, and you got to stay healthy. And that's important. I mean, it's a cliche that everybody says, and you hear it. You got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. But it's true, especially in high school football in northeastern Ohio. You know, it's not an area that's heavily populated with young people. You know what I mean? Our demographics are of older people, and you know, there's most of the teams around here are pretty thin, and you got to stay healthy.
Now, you know, Vinny Gentile is a stalwart on both sides of the line, obviously, for you, one of your leaders. But, you know, this Kyle Jornigan kid, tell me a little bit about him.
Yep.
He's a transfer, he's a junior, and he kind of looks like, from seeing the Glenville scrimmage and the Heights game, that he's a player you don't want to mess around with. He's a potential, a lot of potential there.
Kyle's a really good player. He did not transfer to us. He came in as a freshman.
Okay.
He's an individual that, again, not only has physical tools, but a very intelligent person, you know, and understands the game, and is learning it, you know, as he goes on and gaining more and more experience. He had a good season for us last year, and he's kind of picked up where he left off, and is leaning on some of that experience from last year and moving forward. And he's a better player this year than he was last year, and we expect him to keep continuing.
Is your line with the Maxim on the other side and
those guys
Vinny
have-
in center, is
Yeah,
are you feel good about that?
Yeah,
Is that
those guys. You know, they've had. You know, they've
your two
had a lot
guards,
of-
I don't know.
Yeah, they have. You know, Vinny and Kyle and Alex.
People
you
know a
are
lot
all-
about
are
them.
Back, and Tyler Petrie was one of our guards that played last year, so
Okay.
he's back with some experience. And we have a new guy in there in Steve Mosier that's come along well during camp. So those guys are working together well. They feel pretty comfortable together, and you know, we just hope that they keep moving forward.
What do you like about your team, PJ? I know it's early, but
I'm going to tell
what do
you,
you,
I
what do you
like
like?
being around them.
Okay.
I really like, they are truly a pleasure to go out on the field with and practice with every day. They have a great attitude. They're a fun group to be around. And it's really, it's fun to go out there every day with them and go to work with them. And there's a great group to be around. They really are.
I know it probably hurts a little bit in the game. They scored on a long pass,
Right.
missing Nico Marchionda.
Yep, Nico.
What's his
is,
status?
He'll be back pretty soon. You know, he's out for a few weeks. And
Cornerback.
Yep, he's a corner for us, and got some other guys beat up. But again, it's part of the game, and you know, you can't dwell on it very long. You know, you're hoping to get all those guys back as soon as you can. But you know, it's the nature of the beast, and you got to keep moving forward.
Let me ask you: were you surprised they didn't try to pass on you more? They went to the run the second half more than.
Yeah, I think they were.
I was surprised.
Yeah, I think you know, obviously I can't speak for them. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly, you know, how they're going and working with things, but they were definitely trying to establish the run in there and maybe control some field position and hope to keep it out of our hands a little bit. And, you know, and at that point it was a one-score game at half, so, you know, I think that, you know, that might have weighed into it, but, you know, that's just how it went.
Now Hoban's minus some of their big-time talent the last couple of years, but they do have a lot
Yep.
back, a lot of good, solid players, even Division I players on their
Have
team.
a lot of guys back.
Yeah,
you know what I
so
mean? They're
big challenge.
Big challenge. You know, I think that they're an outstanding football team.
You know
I
Tim
think-
Terrell?
Yep, know Tim well, and they're an outstanding football team with some really, you know, great athletes. You know, Tim does a great job, and he always does. They're a sound football team, and so when you get a mixture of great people with a sound scheme and a group that plays well together, it gets kind of dangerous. And they're a dangerous team. You know, I mean, they've had a lot of success and won the state title last year, and you know, it looks like that, you know, they're on that road, you know, for that again. You know, I think that they believe they can do it, and I think they have the people to do it. Now we'll see how it all comes out, and if they can again stay healthy and get through their schedule. But a very, very, very good football team.
What's the magic number of wins you think this year for you guys?
I don't know.
I know it depends on who you
Hopefully
beat
10.
and everything, but yeah.
Hopefully 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
And you
what
got a full
strive
schedule
for.
this year
Yeah.
too. That's good.
Yep. So it's you know, I don't look at it that way, and you know, I think that, you know, it's dangerous, you know, in high school football to start thinking that way as, you know, players or coaches. I think it's important that you worry about each and every week, and you know, points will take care of themselves. The scoreboard will take care of itself. All that, you've just got to, you know, kind of break the game down for young folks, and you just got to go and work every day to get better, and you just got to try to win every play. You know, I think if you win every play, then you start to win quarters, and you win halves, and then ultimately win the game.
You mentioned 18 years. Is this everything you thought it was? Be the
Went
head
by
coach
fast,
at
I'll tell
Cardinal
you that.
Mooney
You
and
know, I think it
replace
was-
Don Butchie. And
Yeah, it's
what kind of career has it been from your
it's
perspective?
it's been an enjoyable one, and I'll tell you what's really, really enjoyable is all of the young folks that you deal with and had the opportunity to work with and coach and be a part of their lives, and they're all a part of our lives. I mean, they're, as everybody's, you know, guys are older and they have, you know, families of their own, and they're still in touch and texting back and forth, and you know, have relationships with their families, and we do a lot with a lot of former players. My wife and I and my family, you know, stay in touch with a lot of them, and going to weddings and going to birthdays, and you know, traveling all over the country, going to different weddings. It's kind of neat to see these guys get older, and that part of it, I think, is what it really hits you.
Is it fun?
It's fun. It's fun. That part of it's fun. You know what I mean? Is being around young folks and the relationships you build and the camaraderie that you build, and you know, friendships for a lifetime. I mean, there are guys that have played for me. You call them in a minute, and they would do anything for you, and vice versa. And it's really neat.
So can we put you down for fifth state championship this year? Is that too early to mess around with?
We got to get through week 2. We got a long way for that. Long way for that.
But you're
you know what
capable
I
of
mean?
it this year, you think?
I think everybody's capable of it.
With your
maybe,
talent.
Maybe the people don't realize they're capable.
But this is
of
a good
it,
team,
but it's,
yes?
Yeah, I like this team. I like them. I like working with them. You know, a lot of, again, you know, I've been on both ends of state championships and playoff runs, and that it's a long road, and you need the ball to bounce your way a few times, and you also need to stay healthy.
I think, you know, Mooney's known for grounding and pounding, but I think this is the year you could really,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
really do
yeah,
that.
yep.
If week one's any indication.
Yep, you know, definitely, and Tone's a really good athlete. He can run and throw the ball well, and you know, we put it up our share the other night, and you know, we'll continue to do that.
Well, great, and congratulations on getting that first win of the year.
Thank you very much.
Best of
I
luck to you,
appreciate it.
Hoban. I appreciate you coming down here tonight.
Yep, absolutely.
You were here last year, and much
Yep.
appreciative of it.
Absolutely.
And have a great season this year.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yep,
P-
absolutely.
PJ Fecko, head coach Cardinal Mooney, and we'll be back with more from Kelly's Bar on Mahoney Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio. And welcome back to Yards After Contact on Kelly's Bar, Mahoney Avenue in Youngstown, Ohio. With me now are two of Mooney's standout performers from their victory over Cleveland Heights, Antonio Page, quarterback, and defensive back as well. Yes.
Sir, yes,
And Kyle Jornigan, left tackle, left tackle, offensive tackle, junior for Cardinal Mooney. Great victory, guys, and I don't know what to say, Antonio. Your performance was pretty spectacular. Were you anticipating to have a game like that?
I was just pushing my best, trying to, tack on yards, push my team down the field on offense. I got a pretty solid line. As you can see with Kyle Jornigan as my left tackle. I just follow them. I know they'll get the job done.
Was that in the game plan to just on the ground, ground and pound?
Yeah, ground and pound, see if they could stop the run. We know that they had a pretty solid pass rusher at DN, so we were trying to
Stayed away from him.
keep everything away.
He's
from
an Ohio
him.
State recruit, by
Yes,
the way.
sir.
Yeah. So, what was the magic? When did you feel it?
I felt it on the first run. The
Yeah?
first run that they gave me, I knew that it was going to be a good day for me.
Any thoughts? Were you concerned? I mean, you had some experience from last year and everything, but were you nervous? Were you anxious? What were your feeling going into the game?
I was a little anxious going into it. I was like eager. I was ready to get into playing and getting back into the motion. Missing, the last playoff game against Hubbard with a broken finger. I was ready to get back into everything.
When did you know it was clicking real good? I mean, right away?
Right away. Once they called my name to run the ball, I knew that it was going to be good.
Now, in that Reed play, I mean, do you know where it's going to end up? Is it going to end in your hands, or the way it was going?
Yeah, the way it was going, it was mainly me keeping the ball, but it all depends what that DN's doing. If he's coming down, I'm always going to keep it and try to get out.
Now, how do you feel about throwing the ball?
I feel good about throwing the ball. It's a little hard with younger receivers this year. They don't know their routes as well right now. But I think over the season we're going to progress and get it down.
That interception, that kind of really wasn't your fault?
You
You kind of threw a little early.
Yeah,
He wasn't ready.
It went both ways.
Yeah.
On the play that we were running, that backside end comes free, and I was trying to get it out quick, and I put it a little behind my receiver. It was on me, but we can get better. We can progress right there.
So there's some rooms for improvement
Yes, sir.
after week
Yes,
one.
Sir. Room for improvement always.
What are you most excited about after playing with this team week one?
I'm most excited about what our schedule, what we can do with our schedule, like competition-wise. Like, I believe that we have a good enough competition to compete with anybody around.
You know about Akron Hoban, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Two-time defending
Yes,
state
sir.
champions,
Yes, sir.
and they got a little bit of talent this year.
Yes, sir.
Does that motivate you more?
Yeah, it motivates me more. It makes me want to push myself harder, push all my guys harder, keep everything up, practice intense, just how we play in our game.
As Michael O'Hara was there earlier, I should ask him about you, but you two are buddies, right?
Yes, sir. Mike's one of my good friends. We work out a lot together. My dad's our personal trainer with our agility and stuff, and we gel together pretty much. We're really close.
Now, you looking forward to that week 5,
Yes,
the
sir.
week 5 matchup then?
Oh yeah.
A little bragging rights.
Especially after last year with such a tough loss in the second week.
Now, beginning of the season, maybe in a little bit of a quarterback battle or not, but I'm sure you were confident
Yeah.
that you'd be under center.
Yeah, I had a feeling that they were going to test me to see where I was at with coming back off of an injury, see what I was capable of doing still. And I had a feeling that I was going to be able to do the same things that I was doing last year, maybe even better.
How fun was it in Cleveland Heights?
I had a lot of fun. Got to do some things that I really didn't get the chance to do last year with two big backs, Jalen and Ray. So this year I get to experience more as running the ball wise.
And did it just keep getting better and better for you?
After every single
Confidence,
run, and,
everything?
My confidence is really high right now. I'm liking where I'm at.
And you're healthy?
Yes, sir. Fully healthy.
Come
Yes,
away
sir.
healthy?
Yes,
Did you
sir.
banged up at all in that game?
A little sore
Yeah.
after the game, but other than that, I'm feeling great.
200 yards, right?
Yes, sir.
Feel pretty good about
Feel
that.
pretty great. Hopefully, I can keep that going.
So you understand your importance in this offense.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about him.
He's a big key. He's a big key. It's nice and easy.
You got Gentile at
Gentile,
center
yeah.
and Maxim at right guard.
Maxon at right tackle.
Right tackle, I'm sorry.
Steve Mosier at right guard and Tyler Petrie at left guard. And just
So you got a lot of experience and
knowing
size.
that I have a good sized line and
With
they're-
experience.
Yeah, they're athletic too, which is nice. They're not just the big guys that are slow.
Yeah.
Can't move. They're big and they
And
get to where they need
they
to be.
move around on
Yeah,
your
and
offense.
just following behind them is it's a blessing. It's the holes are big. You can fit anything through that hole.
And it seemed the holes were getting bigger as the game went on.
Yes, sir. As the
That
game went
touchdown
on.
run, I could have ran that one in.
Yes, sir.
You know, How about defensively? You're missing Nico Marchionda.
Yeah, missing Nico, it's pretty tough.
Does
without-
that slide you to corner?
Yeah, it slides me out to corner instead of playing the strong safety position.
Are you worried about that?
No, I'm not worried.
Injuries?
I feel like I'm pretty solid in coverage. That's why they chose me to move out to the corner position. It's a little different than playing the safety position, me being more like I'm more pushed up on the line with that receiver. But other than that, I like it a lot. I'm feeling good about it.
Were you concerned they were going to maybe pass on you guys a little bit, especially after they had that early success? And then they ran the ball.
Yeah, I was a little worried that they were going to start airing it out.
Yeah.
More of an air raid offense.
Had some
after
athletes
that.
at receiver.
Yeah, they had some pretty big and they were
Yeah,
pretty
you would
quick,
probably
too.
like to throw a couple of.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd have loved it. But I just knew that everybody was going to be all right if we stay composed and just play back, just play what we need to do like we do in practice.
Defensively, though, did you guys play well?
We could have played a little bit better than we did defensively, but
Vinny was pretty tough
yeah,
up front.
Vinny
man.
up front, he was doing pretty well. So was Andre McCoy,
Okay.
our inside tackle. They find the ball really well.
And you got a
They're good
young
about it.
defensive end over there too.
Yes, sir.
What-
Sharif Jameson.
Yeah.
Playing defensive end.
junior?
Yeah, he's a junior. He's a Kentucky
He's got some
offer, yeah.
He's got some
He's,
potential.
He's pretty good. He gets back there a lot. He just got to learn to settle down in there when he's coming up to make a play.
Are you a leader on the defense as well? Is that are you the vocal leader of the? How would you classify that?
They looked at me being that I've started defense 3 years, but we look over to Brennan Olish, our middle linebacker, for
Okay.
like everything that's going on, like what we're
Okay.
running, all that.
Solid player, both sides of the ball.
He's solid. He's good at both.
Somebody you
positions.
could probably rely on if you need to dump a pass
Yeah,
to. Even.
when I know I
Right.
need to get something out, I know who I'm going to.
Yeah, you got a reliable senior, right?
Yeah, senior
Yeah?
tight end,
Yeah.
yes sir.
Kyle, how's it being